Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in information, struggling to make any of it stick? Well, what if I told you there's a powerful memory trick that you probably see and maybe even use every single day, but you've never really noticed it?
I mean, think about all the acronyms you see flying around. Stuff like NATO, right? Or
VIP. They're everywhere, and they're not just a random jumble of letters.
we see them on traffic signs.
You might even have this one, UHT, on a carton sitting in your fridge right now. So, what's the connection here? What do all of these actually have in common?
The thing is, they're all examples of a memory technique that's so common, it's practically invisible. We use it all the time without even thinking about it, but it's a real, structured method designed to help our brains remember things way more easily.
And that technique is called the acrostic. It sounds kind of fancy, but it's an incredibly simple and seriously effective way to take a bunch of separate things and just lock them into your memory.
So here's the deal with how it works. An acrostic takes the first letter of each piece of info you need to remember, and it weaves them into something totally new. It could be a single word or a simple phrase that's just easy to recall. It's all about creating a memorable hook for your brain, basically chunking all that separate info into one easy-to-grab piece.
Okay, so that's the theory, right? But how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's put it into practice. We're gonna see how you can create one for yourself right now.
Let's take a super practical example. Say you want to remember the Italian names for playing card suits: Cuori, Quadri, Fiori, Picche. Trying to memorize that list on its own, it's tough. But if you take their first letters, C, Q, F, P, you can build a simple little phrase, come, quando, fuori, piove, which just means like when it rains outside. All of a sudden, this random list is attached to a memorable sentence, and recalling it becomes almost effortless.
And here's another way to do it. Let's say you need to remember the first 5 books of the Old Testament. The initials are G, E, L, N, D. Now, instead of making a whole phrase, you can just form a single, easy-to-say keyword, even if it's a totally made-up word like gelend. It might sound silly, but your brain has a much easier time grabbing onto one weird word than 5 separate, disconnected names.
But, and this is super important, like any technique, acrostics have their limits. They're a fantastic tool for specific jobs, but they're not some kind of magic wand for every single memory challenge you're going to face.
So when should you use them? Well, acrostics are absolutely perfect for remembering a short series of things, especially when the order matters. Like steps in a recipe or the key points for a presentation. But they get really tricky when the list gets long. I mean, can you imagine trying to make a sensible acrostic for 50 different items? It would be a nightmare. At the end of the day, it's a powerful tool for recall, not for deep conceptual understanding. So the big takeaway here is that this powerful mental tool isn't some obscure secret. It's already all around you, from NATO and VIP to that UHT label on your milk carton. And maybe this is the most important thing to keep in mind. An acrostic isn't a replacement for a solid study method, but it is an incredible support for one. You can use it to lock down those key facts, lists, and sequences, and that frees up your mental energy to focus on what really matters. Understanding the deeper meaning behind all that information.
So, now that you can see this tool that's been hiding in plain sight all along, the only real question left is, what are you going to use it for? The planets in the solar system? The key ingredients in your favorite recipe? The choice is all yours.
Congratulations on completing the module. Continue learning with Salyvan Academy.